On September 4, 2020, the Minister of Education and Training signed Circular No. 27 on the issuance of regulations on the assessment of primary school students. This circular is implemented according to the annual curriculum and is effective for the entire primary level from the academic year 2024 to 2025. It serves as the legal basis for assessing the mathematics learning activities of primary school students. Assessment of primary school students is the process of collecting and processing information through activities such as observation, monitoring, exchange, testing, and comments on students' learning process and development. It includes guidance, instruction, and motivation for students, as well as interpreting qualitative or quantitative information about academic results, training, the formation, and development of certain qualities and competencies of primary school students. Student assessment involves evaluating the extent to which they meet the required standards and specifically manifest the components of competence in each subject, educational activities, and manifestations of qualities and competencies according to the requirements of the basic education program at the primary level. Formative assessment is an ongoing evaluation activity that takes place during the process of implementing teaching activities according to the required standards and specifically reflects the components of competence in each subject, educational activities, and certain manifestations of qualities and competencies of students. Formative assessment provides feedback for teachers and students to timely adjust the teaching process, support, and promote students' progress towards the goals of primary education. Formative assessment is done through observations and comments. Summative assessment is an evaluation of students' educational results after a learning and training period to determine the level of completion of their learning and training tasks according to the required standards. It specifically reflects the components of competence in each subject, educational activities specified in the basic education program at the primary level, and the formation and development of students' qualities and competencies. Summative assessment is done through a combination of scores and comments. There are 4 periods of summative assessment in an academic year: midterm 1, end of term 1, midterm 2, and end of the academic year. Midterm 1, Midterm 2. Students in grades 1, 2, 3 are assessed by teachers during Midterm 1 and Midterm 2 based on formative assessment in the first half of each term and the specific requirements and expressions of competency components. Students in grades 4, 5 take an additional summative mathematics test during Midterm 1 and Midterm 2. At the end of Term 1 and the end of the academic year, primary school students have summative mathematics tests. The assessment results for mathematics have 3 levels: excellent, performs well in meeting the learning requirements and consistently shows specific expressions of competency components in the subject or educational activities; satisfactory, meets the learning requirements and demonstrates specific expressions of competency components in the subject or educational activities; not satisfactory, has not met some learning requirements or does not show specific expressions of competency. Components in the subject or educational activities. The summative mathematics test is designed in accordance with the required standards and specific expressions of competency components. It includes questions and exercises categorized into levels as follows. Level 1, recognizing, recalling, or describing the learned content and applying it directly to solve some familiar situations or problems in learning. Level 2, connecting and arranging some learned content to solve problems with similar content. Level 3, applying the learned content to solve new problems or providing reasonable feedback in learning and life.